have to do anything. The scent of skin is strong enough. Huddle a little bit closer, babe. Let's see if I can warm you up. Oh, babe, snuggle, babe.
So welcome back to another video. I am here today in sunny Great Yarmouth. We're going to do a whole tour of Great Yarmouth, all the way along down Regent Road, down the seafront towards the pleasure beach, checking out the piers, checking out a little bit of history along the way as well. If you want to jump to any specific points in the video, I've placed the time code in the description. As always, I'd really like it if you could subscribe. Please give it a thumbs up to tell other people you like the video. And as always, if you'd like to support me on Patreon, the links are in the description. So this is the famous Regent Road, and as you can see today, it's pretty quiet down here. In fact, obviously all these are actually shut at the moment. Just pointing out this is Woz Rock Factory, and as a child I remember going in here and actually watching them make the rock. They also make some homemade chocolate in there as well, and if you ever get a chance to go and see how it's made, it is really lovely. As we take a look at this is a very special building here in Great Yarmouth. It used to be known as the House of Wax. It's been sold, it's now residential. It was dubbed the world's worst waxworks. And you can see by the photos actually, they were pretty bad, but actually I used to like going in there. They had a great little penny arcade. Once you went through the waxworks at the end, they had a little penny arcade that you could go and play your coppers and some games in, so I used to really like that. There are a few little coffee shops open, obviously just doing takeaway food at the moment. This building here that you can see is brand new. Because this used to be a bit of a walk around little arcade, and it got burnt down a couple of years ago, and it was thankfully all been rebuilt. Obviously it doesn't look the same, and there's some apartments obviously at the top there. It's just so sad to see everything closed and shut down here at the moment. Great place to go if you want to get any jokes and rude bits and fun stuff there in tickles. They always have a guy standing outside the front actually who always spews into a can or something. He's obviously no longer there. Obviously at night these are all lit up as well. I don't know if you can see them just on the camera there, but chain of lights that go all the way down Regent Road into the town. You're never too short of rock places as well here in Great Yarmouth. There's another rock factory there. In fact, all these shops down Regent Road are either cafes or they're selling little trinkets. There's Chinese. Some of you that have been coming to Great Yarmouth for a long time may know the hamburger. It's been there since the, I think the late 60s, early 70s. Great little retro restaurant. It's just really horrible just to hear all these just jangling in the wind, all these shutters that are down. So as we come up to the bottom end of Regent Road, we see Britannia Pier in the distance, which we're going to check out in just a second. This is a hotel. It's classed as a new beach hotel, and a lot of people that have been coming to Great Yarmouth will know that it was also the Long Bar just in there, which was there for a long time. And also this used to be a pub called the Upside Down Pub, where everything inside was on the roof, and it was really quirky, but that's a shame that went. And then obviously Long Bar, which was there for years, got returned back to the New Beach Hotel. So obviously if you go all the way up there, you'll come up to the town, and obviously the historic part of Great Yarmouth, which we're going to do in another video, because did you know that Great Yarmouth is classed as an ancient town? In fact, actually, it's older than Norwich. And we'll do a video on the history of Great Yarmouth in our next video. I'm just going to walk this way. So I think about 10 years ago they put all these benches in, because a lot of people love to sit on these benches in the summer, and they put all these neon lights in as well, and at night actually it looks really nice. And over there used to be the aquarium. It was like a theatre back in the day. It's been quite a few different things actually. It's been the Hollywood Cinema for a long time, and the Arc Cinema, which have just taken over, and pretty bad timing really. They took over, completely redid it, and then of course coronavirus hit and they had to shut, so it's a bit of a shame around there. Behind there as well is it's a lap dancing club. It used to be Rose's, that was great in there. I used to love going in there. And of course we come to Joyland, which is a little amusement park just for the tiny tots. It opened up in 1949 and it's got the famous snails in here, which people come from far and wide to ride. Also the tubs that you might have seen before as well, those little round tubs that go round and round, they're really good. And they added the Spooky Express back in 1996. So that used to be the long bar. At one point it was the longest bar in Europe. I can't remember who took over that accolade, but it was a great place to go on a night out. It's now classed as the New Beach Hotel. Basically the New Beach Hotel was always there, especially up the top, and the bar was at the bottom. This popped up about 20 years ago. Joyland Diner, which is a bit of an extension onto Joyland. Get some burgers in there, it's really nice. So as we're coming up now to actually quite a busy central beach here in Great Yarmouth. And Britannia Pier's got quite a checkered history, survived 2 fires and also being cut in half by a pleasure cruiser. So you might see these around and you're probably wondering, well, they're lights, what are they? They're actually dotted all the way down the central beach. They don't work anymore, which is a bit of a shame, but they used to emit different coloured lights onto the beach, so when you'd come down here at night the beach would be lit up in loads of different colours. It's such a shame they don't work anymore. And obviously normally these are full of horses offering trips up and down the seafront on the horse and cart, but as you can see it's all empty. And in fact, even though nothing is open, there is a lot of people here today. Obviously the takeaway places are open to get some drinks and an ice cream and of course donuts. These are the famous Anchor Gardens, and they've actually just pulled this up. I'll just show you a bit of footage now that I shot the other day when all the flowers were in here. As you can see, it looks really pretty, but obviously they're going to put some summer flowers in there at the moment. So just wanted to show you this place as well, which is a very old building here in Yarmouth. It used to be a cinema, a bingo hall, a nightclub. In fact, it used to be something called Bourbon Street, which was really great in there because there used to be 4 or 5 little pubs and then a dance floor right at the end. At the moment, I don't know what's going to be going in here. It's been up for let for a long time, and it's such a shame because it is such a beautiful Victorian building with the architecture. Again, look at that. The old ticket booth where people used to come and get their tickets. Built back in 1911, and such a commanding view this has of Great Yarmouth seafront. But the original bits of marble are still there. So obviously Yarmouth is famous for its big arcades. Again, a little bit like Hemsby, some of these are named after Las Vegas casinos. I don't think Leisureland is though. Obviously people social distancing, getting their takeaway food up here. So as you can see over here, what used to be the Marina Center, which was there since the late 70s, early 80s, and I think all that's left of it is that. People are going, what's going to replace it? What's going to replace it? Well, The new Marina Center is going to replace it. It actually looks really nice. And up here, this used to be like a little open air market back in the 80s and 90s until they built the Tower Complex, which was supposed to be something really great. And I think it's gone through a few transformations at the moment. They're missing a W. But of course, Blackpool has its tower, and we have that you used to be able to go and walk up, but you can't anymore. And in fact, a few years ago, there was like no security or anything. They left the door open, so I had to walk up there, and it was really sad because there was just rubbish up there and just a random chair. And again, I still think they could make more use of this as an attraction for Great Yarmouth. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below if you've ever been up there as well. So we have the Mint in here, which is a really great little arcade. It's also got like a laser quest game in there as well, where you can go and fight people with a laser. It's very noisy because they're still demolishing the Marina Center. So we're just crossing the road here on the seafront, and this was put in a few years ago. Obviously, it's for the horses to go up and down. Also, it's a bike path. Back in the day, the old tram used to go all the way up there towards the pleasure beach. So just wanted to walk down here. When I first moved to Great Yarmouth, this was actually still here. It's no longer here. This used to be the old jetty. And actually, back in the day, it used to be the stop-off point. If you wanted to go to London, you could actually travel to London by boat from the jetty here, and also up towards Great Yarmouth. So looking north right now, you can see Britannia Pier in the distance, and if I swing round looking south, that's Wellington Pier, which is where we're going to go next. We're also going to take a look at the Winter Gardens as well. So obviously we're still on a lockdown at the moment, and people are allowed to go out and about. They can't stay over. Obviously they have to go home. There's takeaway places open. But I want to know, because all the public toilets are shut, so what do people do when they need the toilet? That's what I kind of want to ask a few people that are clearly day trippers that have come down. What are you doing about going to the toilet? Because literally petrol stations, all their toilets are closed. So it's like, well, where are you going to the toilet? Anyway, just thought I'd mention that. Just there you can see what used to be the windmill, built back in 1908, and used to be a very famous theatre and host some great shows, some comedy legends like Sid James from the Carry On movies. Russ Abbott used to be there. I think Benny Hill was there once as well. Again, amazing Victorian architecture, and that windmill used to go round. It's now an adventure golf. And back in the day they used to have, in fact they still do occasionally, have a bandstand there. I think you can still see the ring there of the old bandstand that they used to have. Obviously I think it was more prominent back in the 40s and the 50s as to what it is today. We're coming up now to the Sea Life Centre, which again has been here in Great Yarmouth for a very long time. I do think it needs a little bit of an update, considering it's owned by Merlin's Entertainment, who own like Alton Towers. The building itself is really outdated. I mean, even the signage is outdated as well. I mean, I think they could do with doing it up just a little bit. Just an idea. I know budgets are tight and all that. So coming up here is the Winter Gardens. Now this has been here since, so this is the Winter Gardens. It's been here for a very long time. It is looking definitely worse for wear, as you can see. It's completely glass built. I mean, obviously being by the sea, there is going to be some fatigue on the steel that they use, and you can clearly see all the rust and stuff like that. It's been talked about for years about what it should be used for. It's been used as a kids' play area. In fact, I remember it actually being a nightclub back in the day. And you can just see how beautiful the Winter Gardens used to look back in the Victorian days. There's a place to come to for dancing. Who knows what the future of the Winter Gardens are going to be. I think they're doing some kind of work up there at the moment. So up here is the Wellington Pier, again a historic Yarmouth landmark, been here for quite some time. It used to be owned by the council. It was once owned by Jim Davidson as well, the comedian. It's now owned by Family Amusements, who own a few amusement arcades in Felixstowe. And I just wanted to point this out, if anyone remembers this used to be on the seafront further down. The sign is still here, but it used to be facing that way for the tropical butterfly farm, and I think it was the same place where Amazonia was. Can anyone actually remember that? If you can, put it down in the comments. If you come around the back of the Winter Gardens, there is this board here which you can get some amazing nuggets of history of Great Yarmouth, including old posters that used to advertise to the rest of the country. Especially up in the north and the Midlands, they used to have these up at train stations as well. There's the photos of the old Marina Center. So yeah, if you want a little bit of history, if it's still here, come down to where the Winter Gardens are, just around here, for all these nuggets of Yarmouth history. It's quite fascinating, actually. So there's Britannia Pier in the distance. The tower complex is just there. These were put in the last few years, actually, these little beach huts, which are quite nice. So what I love about Wellington Pier is that when Family Amusements bought it, they knocked it down and rebuilt it again with the famous turrets as they used to be. And also they added that beautiful bit of stained glass there at the front of the building. When you actually go in there, you see it, especially when the sun is shining through like now, onto the bowling alley. It looks really nice. This is actually now a bowling alley, and there's also a little bar, quite a nice bar actually, and restaurant over there. And obviously the front part is the amusements. So obviously if you come down to this area, this here, which is part of it is still around, used to be an outside skating rink. Back in the 50s and the 40s, looked very grand back in the day, as you can see, rather than what it looks like now, which is a little bit sad. They also used to have an outside swimming pool on the seafront, which is actually further up. These used to be beach huts. Well, you can call them beach huts. They're now all boarded up and they get vandalised, and nobody really uses them, which is a bit of a shame. So we're just walking towards the pleasure beach. As you can see, the water flume in the distance, and this, which has popped up this year, which is a bit of a shame that no one could go in it at the moment. It's the upside down house. Apparently it's for the Instagram generation, where you literally, it messes with your mind because you go in there, everything is upside down. I went into one down on the south coast. They're actually really good. So if you do get a chance to come to Great Yarmouth, definitely visit the upside down house when it's open. So if you've been to Great Yarmouth before, you may or may not know about Merivale Model Village. This is really lovely to kind of walk around. Everything's in miniature, as you can see from the air here. Won't spoil it too much. And also, once you've actually done, you can, as you walk around, you walk back out through a little retro penny arcade and the Merivale tea rooms, which I really do recommend if you like cream teas. They are really nice. So as we continue walking down the seafront, we come up towards the Pleasure Beach Gardens, and again the upside down house. So as you can see, the water flume not running at the moment, just quiet. There's just seagulls there. And this is one of the few water flumes in the country that uses seawater rather than fresh water. So if you've ever been on it and yeah, you wipe your mouth, you lick your lips and you wonder why it's salty, well, now you know. So unlike Blackpool, Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach has got a shorter season. They open up I think it's Easter until October half term, and of course is home to Roller Coaster, which is actually one of the oldest wooden roller coasters here in the UK, built back in 1932, and there's only 2 of these left in the world that were originally dubbed as the Scenic Railway. It's obviously operated by someone who sits in the middle and actually controls the speed of the coaster as well. If you've been on it, you'll know exactly what I'm on about. So right now we're going to be walking all the way down the seafront, because I want to show you the waterways, the Venetian waterways that used to be quite spectacular back in the day, and they've just had a massive grant from the lottery to redo it all. So we're going to go and quickly check that out. So again, this is actually a little bit hidden from the seafront because of the Circus arcade, but again, an absolutely fascinating building. It's been here for 250 years. It's one of the only indoor circuses in the country. There is one in Blackpool, and only one of the 2 that actually have a sunken ring that fills up with water. If you've seen it, if you've ever been here before, the water show that they do at the end of it is really amazing. And again, if you ever go in there, there's some amazing history. Again, the Victorian architecture on it is just beautiful. So just wanted to quickly mention, that's the seafront down there. If you just come along here, you come to St George's Park, and the local council have invested quite a lot of money actually to make this a really lovely communal area where people can go and relax, have a drink as well, and play on the park. It used to be an area where I think a lot of locals would have said they would probably avoid, but yeah, this is also where the Out There Festival goes on every September. Unfortunately, again, I don't think it's going to be happening this year, which is a bit of a shame. But there's some quirky little bits of things to see in here, like for example this that's been carved out. Someone from Bungay did that. And then also up here is the park. And this is a little memorial for those people that have lost their lives in the war actually. And it was done for the Golden Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth. Look, it's really nice. Just over there, used to be able to go and get a tea or a coffee. Sadly that's closed down now, so hopefully someone will take that on, because again, St George's Park actually is a really lovely place to come to relax and chill out. Now we come to one of my favourite areas on the seafront. A little bit further down from Britannia Pier is the waterways, known as the Venetian Waterways, which is about 90 years old now. It was built back in 1928. They've recently had some cash injection from the lottery grant, which was over 1.8 million from the Heritage Lottery Fund. When it was first opened back in 1928, it was dug out by hand, these channels. Over the years, of course, it was closed and faded, but the lottery grant has brought it back to its original splendour. And here's an interesting fact. You see all these around the corner. These were actually taken from an airstrip that was on South Denes, and it was demolished, and they were used here in the waterways. Even though all this has been redone, these are the originals and they're still been left. So they've actually done quite a lot of work around here on the Venetian Waterways. Little lights lighting up the buildings. Also added some little kiosks. That one's been there for quite some time. So thanks for walking with me. Please make sure you do give me a thumbs up to tell everyone else you're loving the videos. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button. And also, if you really love these videos, I'd really love it if you could support me. My Patreon details are in the description. I'll see you next time.